Let's go. What's up, bro? We got a podcast in the metaverse, bro.
Yeah. Who knew that this is what it was all building up to through the entire first season? And now we are here kicking off season 2 with all of you guys, a live studio audience.
Let's go. Every Tuesday.
A podcast. We didn't even know what was happening. We're 15 episodes into this.
It seems to be helping and impacting a lot of people. We'll see you every Tuesday on the Well Metaverse podcast. Peace.
Easy. I don't know why I chuck deuces. Like I don't chuck deuces. What was that?
Yeah.
Oh, to the
What's up, Lolly? You were
Good morning.
You came right out in stage front. Today.
I did. Me
Look at
too.
her.
Sometimes, but I did want to point out that my level of my head is in there.
That's right.
I have a background. I can hear
Let's
you.
go.
I'm winning today. It's winning.
Yeah, that's crushing it. That was easy.
You
right?
rock,
All
Lolly.
you had to do is get a whole new computer.
I'm
And
not even using that one yet, Aaron. I haven't even tried that one yet.
well, don't change now.
I know. I just learned how to use this one. So there's that sort of kind of. Anyway, welcome everybody. And I'll be back here.
Man, let's give it up to Lolly. Oh, are you frozen or just focused? Oh, you're just focused.
I was mad focused. I'm trying to. First of all, let's just. I'll talk about that later. To everybody who's not watching on my Facebook page.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I see our peoples are coming in and some comments here.
Yeah, let's see. Kimberly,
One of our
Ann,
favorite people.
Hello, lovely people. And
Absolutely. What's happening? Kimberly, we appreciate your consistency in showing up for us every Tuesday.
consistency. Man, yeah. Hey guys, how did Mother's Day go? And what? And did you do anything special? Jason, I'll let you hit that one.
Man, so Mother's Day was amazing for me. I had of course we had church on Mother's Day, which is pretty cool, man. We got a 360-degree booth, and that was pretty cool. Have you seen those things?
Oh, like no. Tell me what this is.
How about
you
I
show
just
us?
show you?
I like it.
Let me see right quick. All right, I'm working too. So what we did is we honored all of the moms in our church, and of course we honored my wife as well. Got her a dozen of long stem roses.
All right.
And then, we had my sons come on stage, and they were singing the Boys and Men, Mama, you know I love you. Ooh. So that's the bass line. So we did that, and then I was just encouraging everybody that looking at I gave a message, the most what was I had a question. What was the most amazing words ever spoken to a mother? The most powerful, the greatest words ever spoken to a mother. And that was when Gabriel visited Mary and told her she was going to give birth to Messiah. And she was like, how can this be? Like, with God, all things are possible. So the question is, what is it that God wants to do with you that seems impossible? And what's stopping that from happening?
Well, that's a question for all of us.
Indeed.
Right.
So
yeah, that is.
I'm trying to.
All things are possible. Carl says, Lolly has certainly gotten over her stage fright. You remember, Jason, when she first kind of showed up on the scene?
I did.
Yeah. She's not who we would have guessed would have been front and center, and now she's front and center in so much stuff.
Right. It's like I'm taking over.
That's right. Good stuff, Lolly.
Uh,
And it's being
All
noticed.
right, I'm gonna show you this 360-degree phone booth. I mean, photo booth. Let's see if I can bring it up here. Here we go. Processing. Let's see if we still got skills.
Processing. Bueller.
Here it is right here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So, of course, my family is too big to have all of us.
Right. You got to do two or three takes.
Yeah. Yeah. So then we had the girls, her and the girls. And then, of course, if y'all want to see how we do, let me see if I can show you how the beautiful Terry and Earls and I get down. Let's see. I'm sorry, guys. It's taking too long, but it's worth it. It really is worth it. I think this is it. And so this was such a hit. If you ever have an event, especially in the DFW area, shout out to 360, DFW 360, who gave us a great discount. So that's me and the wife.
Yeah. And, somebody played the reverse card there. That's
yeah, there it is. Yeah,
that's good. Now, was there any editing involved, or you just get in there and do that, and you get a file?
Dude, you get up there, do it. They send you. They actually airdrop it to you if you're an iPhone, iOS person. If you're Android, they put it on the 3.5 floppy disk and mail it to you.
Floppy. Yeah. Man, the floppy days seem a long time ago.
Dude, I actually when I took over this position, in my office, there's a box. You remember those boxes from colleges that you used to get? Dude, thing, I think it was like 25 megabytes, if that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You're like, what's this for? A one voicemail message?
Right.
Yeah, it's funny, amazing. It's amazing how fast things are going and all that. Yeah, I mean things are changing, and the pace seems to be increasing.
If you have anybody in your family who's 80 years old, they remember a time before TVs.
Before TVs. And that's
before the television.
That's just such something that we would take for granted. Like it's just there.
Dude.
Actually, I mean, now it's almost antiquated. Like TV over the last 10 years.
Remember when you were a teenager and if you got grounded, the agony when your parents said no TV, you were like,
oh. Yeah. Or Saturday morning, if you got up and didn't have access to that TV, it's brutal.
Dude, absolutely. If dad wanted to watch golf, you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Dude, it's like, man, it's cartoons on and we're watching golf.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, it's
mayhem, John.
Early in the morning.
Everyone gather around the radio. Little Orphan Annie is coming on. Little shout out to A Christmas Story there.
Dude, those days they even had the radio in a cabinet and closed it.
Yeah,
just so it would be distracting. Isn't that amazing?
Now, growing up, we had one of those, but it wasn't because that was the technology of the time, and it certainly wasn't because we were trendy and we were trying to be retro. It was just because that's what we could get at the time.
Remember, it's funny, we reminiscing all. Remember, part of the marketing, great marketing included, and a color TV. Like
yeah.
There's an old motel where I used to work. This to tell you the type of neighborhood I used to work in. And the motel said AM and FM radio and a color TV on the marquee. Like, woo! This is
Yeah.
upscale, boy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Lolly says some people had black and white TVs. She heard. She heard. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. And then Mayhem says still have a hi-fi player that works in the house. That's cool. Yeah. See, he probably hung on to that long enough to where it's cool again. Like,
Dude, remember, I'm gonna tell you this was amazing. When you would be in school and the teacher would roll in a film projector in the
oh
classroom,
yeah,
you're like, "Whoa!"
yeah. Yeah, we're not doing it. There's not gonna be homework tonight. There's like, yeah.
You start
They
jumping
were,
across the desk celebrating, man. That movie projector come in. Oh my goodness.
yeah, yeah. Oh, and Mayhem does chime back in just so there's no misunderstanding. He says, "No, I'm still uncool." All right, all right,
Well,
not
that
me.
goes without saying, brother. Hold on. Everybody, did y'all see how close the bottom of the suspenders were? That's the telltale sign. No,
Oh no, that's the middle. Oh, you thought, man. I mean, that's nipple level right there. Like,
when the clip is at your nipples, that's bad, brother.
Yeah, keep the clipple below the nipple. That's what I always say. But
that is great.
Oh man. This is, it's so funny again how all this works, because like we weren't planning on doing a retro dive back into technology, but today, like what we really are focused on talking about is, what's the most important thing that we've learned with our time in the metaverse, diving into this new technology. Yeah, what do you think about that?
Yeah, it's funny that you ask, because I talked to an individual yesterday in a meeting, and this individual, how can I say it without saying it? Man, this dude is in the boardroom of some individuals who are making some things happen. I mean, he's a really good friend of mine, one huge encourager of mine. Just here's what, man, Jason, here's what we're learning in these spaces. Every time I'm in these meetings, I'm thinking about you. Here's what I think you need to understand where you're going. Here's how I want you to partner with us. So this dude is doing a lot of stuff. And he was like, so man, update me what's going on with this metaverse thing. He said, what are you learning? What are you and your guy Aaron? What are y'all like? What's been the most impactful thing that you've seen? And then another couple who's in my community here, they just like, how do we see an investment opportunity? How do we get involved with the metaverse? And so that takes me to this. So that's why I've been thinking, like, what's the most important thing? What I've seen, I think the most important thing that I'm seeing right now is the connection with humans, and how you're able to have this level ground of communication. There's another term called love feast. And love feast is more of a biblical type term, where basically what it means is everyone's sitting at the table. There are no titles, there's no big I's and little U's. And we sit at the table, and there's this commonality that we have that allows us to just bond and grow together. So On some level, I see the metaverse doing that. The person who's an amputee, the person who's bedridden, paralyzed, the person who has social anxiety, the person who just has some type of disability, all come into the metaverse at this table, and there's this commonality that is allowing human beings to get to know human beings as human beings.
Human beings getting to know human beings as human beings. That says a lot right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that equal playing field that you talk about, man, that's never have I seen that on display as it is in the metaverse.
Absolutely.
You know, other than what everybody chooses to present themselves as, you cannot make any inferences or judgments or you know, get any ideas about who they are other than exactly what they choose to present.
Yeah.
Which is cool, real cool. Especially as you mentioned, when it comes to people with a physical handicap, maybe that might be confined to a wheelchair, or have be missing a limb or something like that. They can come in and present themselves with or without that, exactly how they decide to, and they can escape any preconceived judgments. You know, they can they can experience the world in the identical way that somebody not addressing those issues would experience it. Super cool.
Indeed. What about you, man? What do you see as the most important thing? One of the
Man,
most important things.
you know, it actually, right when you were talking about your friends that were saying, man, we want to invest in the metaverse, you know, we feel like
Yeah.
there could be some opportunities there. That kind of ties in because the thing that I've learned is it's about the fundamentals. You know, it's
Mm,
not about the flashy technology. It's not even really about the future potential. It's about the fundamentals. It's, you know, and there's a lot of people that have come in looking for ways to invest money, and they might end up in a shakier investment than they would want to. You know,
that's so good.
some of the cryptocurrency things, you know, if you look at the value of them, the only value is speculative future higher value. That's the only value. If you take that away, there's nothing. And some of them, you know, those are being taken away, and there's nothing left. You know, some of the other platforms that are selling and inviting people to come in to potentially profit, you know, they're not. They're not. There's no fundamentals. There's no tangibles there. There's nothing.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know. Like the thing I would say, like if I were looking to invest money right this minute, I probably wouldn't, you know, because
Right.
it's not there. But then ultimately, I think the best value is going to be to find where the people are, and to invest money to bring your message to those people. You know,
Yeah. To find ways to invest money to bring your message to people.
yeah, yep,
That's so
exactly.
good.
Yeah,
I yeah, man. That's good, brother. I
yeah.
speaking of uh cryptocurrency and NFTs. Sorry, I was trying to dude, I saw one of the most brilliant comedy sets that I've seen in a long time.
Really?
Brother, I, I was blown away by the intellectual comedic chess that was going on in this stand-up set. Oh, dude, I'm blown away. It was
Who
at
was it?
The White House
Oh,
Correspondents'
okay.
Dinner.
Was it Roy Wood?
Man,
Yeah.
Roy Wood. Did you see it?
I only saw one little clip of it, but now I'm thinking I better go back and watch the whole thing.
Dude, it was a comedic masterpiece.
Wow. Wow.
His ability, man, he was telling jokes within jokes. But he was telling jokes. This what blew me away. He was poking, of course, like everybody does. They poke at everybody on all sides. And one joke, he would poke at both sides.
Yeah.
And it wasn't nasty. It wasn't
Right.
ugly.
Yeah.
It was such a brilliant display of the art that we love so much, bro.
Well, and what an environment to be able to do that, to have one night out of the year or years that politicians decide they're going to come together and be vulnerable and open to jest, to get roasted a little bit. That's
Yeah. And here's what I'm always watching for when I watch a comedian that correspondence dinner. How authentic will they be, and how will their authentic selves be accepted and received? Not accept is the wrong word. How will their authentic selves be received in an audience that's used to holding their cards close to their chest? That's a tough environment to do stand-up comedy in. And that's what I love about the metaverse. It's difficult for you to hold your cards to the chest, so to speak. It's the real you is going to show up. If you are a card to your chest holder, you can instantly pick that up in the metaverse.
Yeah. Or people that are playing a role in the metaverse. Sometimes you'll get people that show up and they're role playing, and
Right.
and it's like, oh man, you're missing what this is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think therein lies another important thing for me, combining that with being authentic and what you said, getting your message to people. What I found the most effective way to grow a space, a world, or influence in the metaverse is to simply be authentic and be on whatever your message, their brand is.
Yeah. It's like I'm a pretty, hard on my sleeve, transparent guy when I'm talking to people, but it gets harder and harder.
Yeah.
I mean, because again, the roles and what it is changes over time, and this is an interesting time for the Soapstone. We're coming into the summer, and a lot of the summer, there's a lot of things happening. People are away, and doing stuff, and that's great. Actually, churches run into the exact same thing. Where
Summer slowdown, baby.
Yeah, it's just a thing. There's other things for people to be doing, and those are good things for people to be doing. But
absolutely.
Nonetheless, though, it's like, okay, are we, is this, so here's the question, because Soapstone, over the last, maybe call it 4 or 5 weeks, there's been a little slowdown in overall traffic. So then the question is, have we fundamentally changed somehow that is causing this? Or is this a cyclical change in the market that would cause that? Because if it's something that fundamentally has changed, if we're somehow treating people different than we were before, then it's something that's got to be addressed, because we can't, we can't lose that spark. We can't lose that identity that's attractive to people and leaves people with the feeling of, this is something that I want to be involved with.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Keep going.
No, so if it's that, if something fundamentally has changed, we've got to address it. But if it's not that, if it's overall environmental stuff and fluctuations, then we can't try to overcorrect for it. We just got to flow with it and know that what makes the soapstone is still there. It's still fully in effect.
You know, I would love to hear what Lolly D has to say about this because but I wanna offer Lolly D, come on in, but I'm trying to think if I should give my thoughts before I hear Lolly D's.
I'd be interested to see Lolly D's backstage nodding. Like, I think
She's saying, should I go first, Lolly D?
Yeah, Yep.
Okay.
She's saying you go first.
I'm wondering if there's been a dip. Could it be that I love the new design of the soapstone,
Mm-hmm.
but if I looking back to the previous design, was that soapstone 3.0, 4.0?
Sure. Yeah. It depends on when you
Uh,
start counting, but we'll call it
right.
3.0.
When as soon as I get into the world, that the outdoors feel and it being so large and spread out gives me room to just kind of discover the metaverse and look in the stars, I see people over there, they're distant enough where I feel a little safe. I don't have to, if I'm uncomfortable, I don't have to hurry up and get out of there because they're just in my face.
Yeah.
Um, and if I want to be alone, I can just take a walk on a stroll, and it gives me this. I'm in nature.
Yeah.
I'm in nature vibe. Now, when I go to the soapstone now, again, I'm in the city. It's literally I'm in the city now, so it's a little bit busier. It reminds me of almost like my day where I was busy, and now I'm in this busy environment. Cars are going by, people are talking, they're right here, and I'm almost forced real quickly to go into this building that I can't necessarily see what's in there, but I might not want to go in there. I want to kind of stay and be, since this is a popular place. But if I stay out here and be, it's I'm gonna hear all this conversation.
Yeah.
That's tough. I know that's just my you said it, and I just instantly started thinking that.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of what you said there are things that I've kind of noticed, like especially like when you first spawn in, at least right this minute, when you first spawn in, you're in the middle of the action.
Yeah.
And I mean, even for me, it feels a little bit overwhelming,
Right.
so maybe we could look at that. All in all, I think, like the general concept of the city and the busyness and the feel, I think that overall is a good thing, because when we switch to that, like even though like it was after the Dry Bar series, which the Dry Bar
Right.
series was our biggest, that was our peak of popularity until we launched this one. And then we launched this one, and it even peaked up a little
Wow.
bit from that. So in general, like the conceptually being in the city and having it a little bit busier, I think conceptually that hits, that lands.
Yeah.
But that, like, giving people a minute to observe is important, and we got to figure out how to bring that back. Then I think we've got some
Yeah. I
comments here
wonder
too.
what.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I wonder. Like I would rather, if I'm going to an NFL or NBA basketball game, I would rather go to see the LA Rams play in the new SoFi uh, arena, or the LA Lakers, as opposed to the Indiana Pacers. Or
Uh-huh.
it's a whole different vibe. So the city
Oh yeah.
is again more attractive. I love being in the soapstone now, looking up and seeing the billboards. That stuff is amazing. But I'm
Yeah.
wondering, what if you spawn in at the edge of the city, like in like Arizona? So if I see soapstone I see the city from a distance. But
So there's competing data, or there's competing ideas
ah,
there, because if you spawn in too far away, or if people have to go through hoops to enter, um, it 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 kills retention, and it kills
ah,
the time spent, because um, like when people come in, especially if people come in for the first time, they're almost looking for a reason to leave as soon as they come in. So so if they've got to jump through hoops, like we were landing on that rooftop area, um,
right,
which was the advantage of, you could come in and you could look down there and kind of see it from afar, and then pop in. But it was the disadvantage that, one, capacity. As soon as you create that space up there, it takes up the precious capacity that you have in the world. So if you don't have that, then you don't have to worry about it. Plus,
right.
again, to go through the movements and to expect people to see and comprehend and take action, that's a big ask for people,
Yeah,
and so there were a lot of reasons why we moved away from having that, like, that outside looking in and then coming in.
yeah,
But man, I don't know. It's one of these things where it's like six of one, half dozen of the other, which is the
absolutely.
better way to do this. Let's see. We got some comments here. Let's take a peek. Kimberly Ann says, "I think you're competing against with Mother Nature." Sure, yeah. Lots of outdoor activities available since the weather has changed. Absolutely. And there again, that's one of those things that, good. Like
Right.
we want people to be outside and experiencing stuff.
Mother Mother Nature's undefeated. Let me tell you
That's right.
that.
That's right. Yeah. And let's see. Luke says, usually as soon as you spawn, there are people right next to where you are spawning, so you're immediately thrust into the world. Yeah, yeah. That's it. I mean, that's the challenge of, like, how can we figure out how to immediately have them in the world, but also give people a minute to acclimate. Um, you got it?
You know what? Yeah, yeah. You know how some people, like what I've seen in Dallas is, in certain communities, one person will own a house. They will buy the house next to them, tear it down just so they can have a larger yard.
Man, that's
That's some long dollars right there.
yeah.
So so what if you purchased like one of the lots downtown Soapstone and extended the lawn to where there's a larger lawn? I don't know. Again, I don't know. I'm not into Soapstone's financials and what y'all, if y'all able to
Yeah.
pick up another
Right, right.
mortgage, or just pay cash for a house, or one of these
Yeah.
buildings and tear it down
Yeah.
and you know put some sod and some dirt and some turf on there. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there's something to that. And also, with scripting the way it is, and with player persistent variables, it's very possible to have people spawn in different locations depending on how experienced they are in the world. So
Yeah.
all
Hmm.
right. All right. So we can put a pin in all of that and know that there's there's going to be more thought and more things coming to look at those things for sure.
Two comedians navigating the explosive growth in the metaverse.
That's
You're seeing
what
it
we
live
do,
and in
man.
person, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. And that's one of my favorite things about doing this, like the way that we do this, where we can just transparently talk about, okay, what's happening that's good, because explosive growth is not 100% good all the time. Explosive growth is good overall, and there's times of, wow, can you believe it? And then there's times of, oh,
Right.
Yeah. It's good.
Indeed.
Which is a fundamental, which again, like, what's the most important thing that I've learned over this time in the metaverse? It's about the fundamentals. It's about connecting with people and treating people how you want to be treated. It's about making decisions based on the overall value instead of the immediate gain. It's about empowering people. It's about encouraging people towards the spotlight. It's about paying attention to people, and understanding when your understanding is wrong. When I've got this hypothetical on how this should impact stuff, and then to see it in play and go, oh, you know what, I was wrong about that. We gotta backtrack. We got to put the people back up on the roof. It's not.
So good, brother.
Yeah.
So good.
This is an interesting time. And again, everybody talks about that entrepreneurial chart where people think it goes from here to here, but in actuality, it's like this,
Right.
Yeah.
If you're unstable emotionally, this is not the place for you.
Yeah. Well, I would go as far as to say that I don't know that anyone is stable enough emotionally to handle it on their own. The entrepreneurial journey, the journey to accomplish anything that's bigger than yourself can't be taken on by yourself. It's got to be people around like you, people around like my wonderful wife, Renee, the team of leads in the Soapstone, the other counselors that I have that I talk to on a regular basis. There has to be that group of people to knock you down just a little bit if you're feeling a little too a little too responsible for the good, and also to lift you up when things are tough. And by the way, things are great overall.
Right.
But again, it's a back and forth. It's truly a back and forth.
It's funny, man. Some people say that McDonald's has had a dip in their in the amount of people that they serve. That might be true. However, McDonald's is still doing pretty good.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. I did just have a conversation with somebody who was like, yeah, I know that there's a lot of people that talk a lot about garbage about the Soapstone, and I'm like, yeah, but you know what? We're doing all right. Like, Man, I got to give this guy a shout out. Corbin, better known as Lizard.
Lizard man.
Yeah, this dude. So, on Monday nights we do a show called Mork and Monday, and the irreplaceable, unmatchable power of Mork is my name. Because this dude will get on stage and just go like, where are you going to land? Who knows? You might not land. But he's going to go, and it's so good. Well, he had an emergency come up yesterday, and relatively close to showtime. He's like, I am so sorry, but I'm not going to be able to make it. So Lizard steps in, and he crushed it. And it always amazes me, like when you need the community to stand up, when you need the community to step up, they do. Because I'm at this show, and you got several new people that popped up that that got on stage and performed. It was a phenomenal show, and I could tell Lizard was a little bit nervous about it, a little uncomfortable, but he did great. And he's stepping in for our Saturday night improv marquee host. So he's going to be the dude that's leading that charge. He's also going to be helping with trivia. Just like, you talk about stepping into it, like he's getting after it, and it's super cool. So shout out to you, Corbin.
Liz to the Zerd.
Yeah,
Let's
the
go.
Liz to the Zerd. Yep. Oh man, good stuff. Yeah.
Hey man, what you got? You performing in Grand Rapids anytime soon?
Man, so I'm kind of half glad and half nervous that you brought that up, because just this morning I was talking to Renee and I'm like, man, I feel like I'm in a tough spot with comedy because I haven't been doing it. I haven't been performing, and I haven't been writing, because writing, if you're going to write, you better be able to perform, so you can hone and refine, and then that's going to spark that other muscle, and you're going to start writing more. Like, it's this cyclical thing. And Lizard says 1 hour special. Like here I'm like, man, this is tough. I haven't been doing it. How about a quick 1 hour special?
People who don't do comedy have no idea what it takes to do a quality 1 hour special.
Oh man, yeah. Well, and then here, like, Lolly D, she comments, we have a stage for comedians. It's called the Soap Stove. And she's right. But I don't know, man. It's, again, like, roles change to where it's like, man, like, as soon as I step on stage, like, people are going to be watching and ready. Like, and I don't feel like I've got anything that's sharp enough and good enough to get up and do yet. It's,
man. Maybe you should do have another avatar that's your stand-up comedy avatar.
That's not a bad idea. Actually, Sturm's watching. He's probably sweating this a little bit, because he just booked me for a show at the Very British Pub to come in and do some comedy. Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, that is one thing that, like, I've been thinking about. Like, okay, like, so in the process of writing, there's a couple things that let me back this up. I feel like I need to get back engaged in writing before I can really get on stage. Like it's got to be, because anytime I've written, I've had I've had something in mind that I want to do, and then I've had a big picture idea of what I want to say. And always throughout my entire comedy career, my long and lustrous, wait, is that the right word? Probably not, but illustrious,
illustrious.
That's probably illustrious. Yeah.
Wow.
My lustful comedy career.
Renee, come get him.
quick. But no, like, I've always had something to say, and it was talking about alcoholism, and it was talking about that. So all of my comedy fits underneath that umbrella. But I feel like when I get on stage now, that can be a piece of it, but there's got to be a different umbrella, and I don't know what that umbrella is yet.
Dude, I think I would love to help you write some stuff, man, because I'm thinking, just because stand-up comedy is taking people on a journey comedically to a place they've never been before.
Yeah.
And so you've got the most popular comedy club on the face of the earth in the metaverse. And so what does that journey look like? Nobody else has that experience. So what does that look like taking people on that journey comedically.
Hmm.
And it's, and I'm thinking like how to, and what makes taking people on that journey significant is when you can talk about something that they haven't experienced, but make it relatable to them so much that it registers on a commonality scale in their brain that makes them laugh.
Hmm.
I know that's a little heavy, especially for non-comedy people, but it's like, how can you take this, having this world in the metaverse that's so successful and walk people on a journey where they're able to take commonalities from that and identify that within their own selves.
Man, so it's so valuable to hear you say that, because here's how it relates and the gears start turning in my head. So the reason why the soapstone has been successful is because we've made the experience of being on stage in a comedy club accessible to people. And of
Yeah,
course, around that community is built. So, and I've talked to many people, and I've said, if you want to be successful in the metaverse, you need to figure out what experience you're uniquely positioned to make accessible to other people, and use that. It sounds like from what you're saying, if I want to write some stand-up comedy, I have to figure out a way to make that experience of being involved in the soapstone accessible to people who aren't in the metaverse. Is that
right.
fair?
Yeah, that's fair.
Hmm. Interesting. Here's a couple comments here. Yep. Sturman says, yep, that's right. The 2nd of June is when he's got me booked. So, all right. Yep. Luke says, as entertainers, we work to disturb the comfortable and comfort the disturbed. Man, that's a good quote right there.
That's really good.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Who was it?
Oops.
Oh, there it is. Are you disturbed or comfortable there?
Dude, Lolly, can you pull that up again? I need to take a picture of that. That's that a preach right there.
Yeah. That'll preach right there. That's, by the way, if you're on a line with a senior pastor and he says that'll preach right there, that is a good compliment. Yeah, that's
great.
that is good stuff. Who was it? Oh, who's the comedian that big on the church circuit? His dad's a mega pastor with the same name.
Andrew Stanley?
Yeah, Andrew Stanley. Andrew Stanley, he does like many of his gigs are in churches, and like his tagline is, he brings dark to a light place.
That is great.
Yeah, that's so good. Yeah. Oh man. So let's see. Carl says, being a virtual dad figure to the adult children of the metaverse could be a good start for the comedy. All right. So I definitely have a dad vibe to a lot of people. And yeah, that's
That is
there's
great.
something to that.
There it is, bro. Yeah. I'm thinking of so many things. There's this heavy this journey you can take on. I think you can take people on where you're taking them on your experience, and then you turn around and make them see that they actually doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but I won't say that in public because I don't want anybody to take this joke that I'm or this premise that I'm
Yeah.
thinking through.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's no, some of those when you get one of those where you're like, "Ooh, I got to work this." Yeah, that's you got to keep those back a little
Yeah,
bit. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I know, one of my biggest strengths in writing comedy and performing comedy is, man, I like to laugh, you know, and so constantly, like, I'm just bobbling through life laughing an awful lot.
yeah.
So there's ways to get those little nuggets and and start honing them. So yeah, yeah, I think that'll be a good umbrella to start writing under of sharing the experience of the metaverse with people who haven't experienced it.
Indeed.
Of course, my easiest platform to perform at is in the metaverse, so none of that material will work there.
Shoot,
So.
I might need to take my headset with me, and so I can show up in the Soulstone tonight and run some jokes because I got a big show tomorrow morning, uh, for a large organization,
Nice,
worldwide organization. So I think
nice.
hmm, what's going on at the Soapstone tonight? What's tonight's Wednesday? No,
So
tonight's Tuesday.
tonight's Tuesday. We got trivia, which is, man, I don't know if you've been to one of the trivia shows, but
With Zach the artist? Absolutely.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, they're
Such an
good, man.
amazing
Like
host.
there's huge laughs that happen in there,
Yeah.
but that's going on. But even outside of that, there's open mic happening at the same time. Lolly D says she knows the producers. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
we do.
I
Yeah,
might need to get on stage just to do a vibe, get on
maybe
stage. Just, I don't
maybe we
know.
can. Maybe we both should jump up and I can
It'll be late though.
introduce you.
By the time I get
Yeah,
settled.
man. It's easy for me to say yeah right now, but man, they see me in there, and like if it hits 10 p.m., like I got to turn facial recognition off because like I'm yawning
It
and
is, yeah.
yeah, yeah. New show. This is, yeah. Lolly D says new show. Everybody. By the way, Lolly D is our programming director in the Soapstone, so she's constantly like, "Hmm."
Good
All
stuff.
right, man. This was a good chat. This is a little different cadence to this one
Indeed.
than what we've had, but I liked it, man. I love like really getting into it with you and talking stuff through a transparent level. This is cool.
Absolutely. And man, tune in tonight at the Soapstone. You never know. You might have a random comedy show.
It
And
might all be happening.
right. And then
All
tomorrow on
right.
this Good Morning Soapstone,
Oh yeah.
who's on who's on Good Morning Soapstone tomorrow?
Who hosts Good Morning Soapstone? I forget.
I forget.
Oh, there she is.
Oh, hey, Lolly.
Well, tomorrow we're going to celebrate one of our business owners, and he is a new guy on the scene named Venue GPS, and he's going to come and share with us what his plans are. He right now we don't have a really great event system. Hopefully, going to get better soon. But that's one of the things he's focused on in his business venture. So we'll see how that conversation goes tomorrow. And Burn Buns is coming back to tell us for on my show today about his meeting with Meta. So we're all looking forward to that too. So I might have even more to share tomorrow on Good Morning Soapstone,
So
which will be nice.
tell us more about that, Lolly.
Burn Buns and Woody, and I don't even know who all went, but there was a meeting in LA. They didn't invite me, but I don't know why. No, they had a meeting in LA and they were talking all things metaverse. One thing he did tell us, and I'm really excited about this part, was that Meta has committed to 10 years of this, no matter what. So that to me is a big, it's a big go ahead for me then. That because people are panicking about things that they probably don't need to panic about, and that
Mm,
right there tells you. they're in for the long haul, so we should be too. And I did want to say one thing, Aaron, adding on to your conversation. Jason's laughing. It's just one thing, Jason.
No,
I
no, no,
wanted
no, 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 no. I just, my brain was working on something else.
Okay, the one word that always comes back to me whenever I think about the metaverse is ambassador. I love that word, and I think if people could think of themselves less as moderators and more as ambassadors, that would be really helpful. In fact, I would call people ambassadors because it conjures up an image for me of what I always try to do, and I think we try to do in the soapstone, which is be standing there and be welcoming of these new people, reaching out and letting them know, hey, there's a lot of us here that are here a lot. And so we can help you, not just with the soapstone, but a lot of places, using your tools, places that are fun worlds. So, if we think of ourselves that way and less about worrying about behavior, I think that's helpful in all worlds, not just the soapstone. I think that could help.
Yeah. So you hit on something big right there. Cause it's, the, the thing that draws the people to the soapstone is the people in the soapstone. Yeah. And,
There's people here.
yeah, well, there's people there and there's great people there.
Mhm.
There's, the people that hang out in the soapstone are some of the brightest, like most upbeat, most friendly people there are in the metaverse. And it's incredible. So, maybe just, a a re-energized focus on let's share who we are with the people in the soapstone, as opposed to let's curb them into fitting into our mold of the so is that preachable, Jason? That Will that preach?
No, absolutely not. I'm just playing.
Well, because those of us that have been here a long time, we forget what it looks like to be brand new in here. It's a different world now. I mean, when we came,
Yeah.
it was a lot different. So they come in and they probably think Meta built all these worlds and then we're just all standing in them. They have no concept of this whole thing. So you come in and you don't feel like, they want me here, then that's not, that's not good. You want them to feel like we want you here. We want everybody here.
Yeah. Well, good stuff.
Two things. One, Thomas Winters just gave probably the funniest comment of the day. When you talk about what Andrew Stanley said, he takes dark to a light world. He said, Thomas says, I'm as bright as a burnt out Christmas light. That is hysterical. Yeah. And that messes up the whole line of lights too, man. Dog,
right. Everybody he comes in contact with.
Yeah, nobody's working. Thanks, Thomas.
Oh man. Yeah.
But listen, if Meta said they're in this for 10 years, how old will you be at that point? So don't say it aloud, like, yo, so like so by the time Meta says, hey, we're gonna, announce what our next season looks like, I will be X amount of years old. That's
so man. So
be happy to be here is what we'll be.
So several years ago, I wrote this joke about how I went to the doctor and he was like, "Hey, you got to be at least 45 to get a prostate exam." And I was like, "All right, that's fine." And he's like, "No, you're not going to get a prostate exam. You got to be at least 45 to get a prostate exam." And I'm like, that's fine. And he's like, and then a little bit later, he brings it up again. He's like, you need to be 45, and you're not 45 yet. You need to be at least 45 to get a prostate exam. And I'm like, what is it about me that makes this dude think that I'm not getting out of here without a prostate exam? But it went fine. No problems. The prostate exam came back clear. Everything was good. And that was really funny until now that I'm older than that by a number of years. And I call the doctor, and he's like, "Well, let's talk about that prostate exam. I got that
That's a
coming
little
up."
weird that he keeps bringing it up before you're like, hey,
Yeah,
fella.
that's right.
See,
Yeah.
there's the seed of your next
It's
comedy
time.
routine.
Right.
There's the
Yeah,
seed
yeah.
work right there.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh my.
Hey,
All right.
so I just want to I just want to point out, since you bring that up, prostate exam, man, I just want to say to any African American male who's watching the importance of getting your prostate checked. Man, just the numbers of African American men who get prostate cancer is crazy. And so just know that, and I avoided going, when I turned 40, I avoided going to the doctor because of that. Like, I know for us African American men, that's the age that we should get one. And I was like, psh, he ain't sticking his fingers up my,
Right.
and so when I finally went to the doctor and I got some blood work taken, and I was like, shh, I know it's gonna happen. And my physician is a family friend and a female.
Oh,
So I was just like,
that doesn't make it easier. Wow.
that does not make it easy at all.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking like, oh, here I go. So I got my blood work done. I'm going back for the checkup. I'm like, now, okay, she didn't bring it up this last time. She's definitely bringing it up this time. And dude, she went through my blood work, and she was like, yeah, your prostate numbers are good. And I was like, you didn't check my prostate. And she was like, no, Jason, I'm telling you right here. See this number right here? That's your prostate. I'm like, you didn't check my prostate. She was like, yes, I did. I was like, I would have known if you checked my prostate. And she's like, Jason, we don't gotta, if your number, we check your blood work first. If your blood work is low, then we don't have to go in. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm
All
like,
right.
that's it. I could have been come to the doctor. So that's changed
Yeah.
over the recent years. So any dude who's been avoiding a doctor because of that reason, it's okay.
Yeah.
Just hopefully your numbers are low. You won't have to be discovered.
Yeah. That's
Unless
right.
your doctor is like Aaron's doctor. He's just like, he just wants to explore.
It's like, let's see. Yeah. Although Thomas says it should make it easier with the smaller fingers. All right. Oh
That's
no,
exactly.
and Carl says I must be on his bucket list. Oh man. All right. Okay. All right.
I know you, young man. I get to go inside the soapstone, see what the soapstone's like.
Is this where the soapstone is? Oh, that and yeah, wow. Oof. These are live, so we can't even edit.
Right?
All right. Well, on that yeah, kidney soapstones. What's
Nuts
is that?
coming to the stage.
Yeah.
He started from the bottom.
Oh.
Now he's here. Give it up for the doctor.
I did walk into the doctor's office, and like he probably did about 15 minutes, like on broccoli mainly, but like a lot of his material was on different foods and that. And I'm like, come on, doc, like this isn't helping either of us. But,
Right.
oh man. All right.
Comedy's a bunch of crap, doc.
All right, everybody. We're getting warned about the house rules. All right. All right.
We got a break. We got to take a break.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah. So everybody, thank you so much for being a part of this. Last week we talked about should we even be doing this, and several people, and you know who you are, sent in feedback and comments and notes about what this place, what the show means to you. And ironically, unrelated to that, I've had several people come up and just say, well, I really appreciate and enjoy the opportunity to listen to the show. So thank you guys for staying engaged. Thank you for staying involved in this, because really, truly, the one person that this show impacts, it makes it very much worthwhile and all that. So thanks for being a part of this.
Yeah.
And
So, and to those who sent in feedback, we appreciate all three of you. So thanks.
Yeah. Oh, you got a second and a third email?
Dude, that's one of my favorite preacher jokes. There, my dad would tell growing up. He would just say, "Man, there was a big storm." Whenever he would go somewhere preaching, there wasn't a lot of people. He was like, "Man, there was this big storm, rainy night. Preacher went to this new church to preach, and he got up after the service was going on. There were 4 people in the audience, and he got up, was like, "Man, wow. So what brought all 4 of y'all out?" And they looked at each other, and then they left. He's like, "So I'm not going to ask y'all what brought you here tonight." Just
Yeah. All right. Oh, and Lolly says that the 2 emails you got, Jason, were from me and her. All right. No, you guys that gave feedback, you know who you were. So thank you. Thank you so much. And again, Jason, thanks for the encouragement through this show. Super good.
Thank you, brother.
All right. We'll see y'all Friday, if not before.